Well, good morning, everybody. It's departure day for Ruidoso, New Mexico. It's early. It's about 4:30 in the morning. We have to go all the way to Las Vegas today because of hotel reservation problems. We tried to make reservations about a month ago, and there's not that many towns between Reno and Las Vegas, and they're very small towns, and all the hotels were booked solid. So we have to go 427 miles today, which is a whole lot longer than I like to do in a Model A in one day. But the good news is that we're catching a break with the weather. Las Vegas is going to be unseasonably cool today. It's only going to be 91 degrees as the high. Normally it would be 105, 106, 110, somewhere in that range. So we got a break with the weather. Of course, we learned about the wildfires in Ruidoso last night. It's still 5 days until the event starts, so we got to keep our fingers crossed that the firefighters can get those fires under control. But we're going to head on down the road, and we'll just have to monitor the situation closely. So come along for the ride as we start our 1,200-mile trip to the Model A Ford Club of America's National Convention in Ruidoso, New Mexico. Thanks for coming along.
Departing out of Reno, we're forced onto Interstate 80 East for about 20 miles, and then we can turn south on Highway 95 alternate. We made a fast stop at Buckland Station, which is a historic Pony Express and stagecoach stop. It's undergoing renovation at the moment, but it's a beautiful spot located right along the Carson River. Very historic, important part of northern Nevada.
We are driving through beautiful Urrington Valley, one of the largest agricultural areas in Nevada. It just goes to show that not all of Nevada is a sagebrush wasteland. You put a little water on this soil and it actually grows things. Here we've got a nice field of onions. This is Walker Lake. It's where the Walker River ends. There is no outflow to this lake, it just evaporates. It is a natural lake, one of the few ones in Nevada, but it's just a sink. The Walker River empties into it, and then it just evaporates and soaks into the ground.
Just south of Walker Lake is the town of Hawthorne, Nevada. Its claim to fame is it's the world's largest Army munitions depot. This Army munitions depot covers 226 square miles, has over 2,427 underground bunkers, where all the munitions for World War III are currently being stored. I swear every time we drive through here there's even more of them. I'm sure all of the United States enemies have more than one ballistic missile programmed to have this location as its target address. In 1900, Jim Butler, who was married to a Paiute Indian woman, was brought to this location and shown mineralization right on the ground's surface. Little did Mr. Butler realize that he had just stumbled upon the second largest silver deposit in the state of Nevada, the first being the Comstock lode in Virginia. Within just a few years, Mr. Butler was a multi-millionaire in the early 1900s, when being a millionaire actually meant something. The Mizpah Hotel was completed in 1907 at the height of the silver strike and was Nevada's tallest building for over 25 years. If you're traveling through Tonopah and have a little extra time, be sure and check out the Tonopah Historic Mining Park. It's just east of downtown. This is the actual location where the mines were located, and you can actually take a look at all the old mine workings. It's a very interesting historical spot.
Tonopah, Nevada. One of the richest towns in the West. Major silver and gold strikes here. In the early 1900s, this place was hopping. Got these big cuts in the hill where silver ore was extracted out of veins all over the hillside. They go down pretty deep too. This is one of the biggest and deepest veins that was dug out of the hillside. Goes down a long ways. Easy to see why miners died. Doesn't look like a very safe work environment.
When you're crossing Nevada in a Model A, you top off the tank in every town, because otherwise you probably won't make the next town. About 27 miles south of the town of Tonopah is the community of Goldfield. In 1903, a huge gold deposit was discovered here, and Goldfield rapidly became Nevada's fastest growing town. Today, Goldfield is what I would call a living ghost town. What I mean by that is people do live here, but the town seems to be frozen in time, hardly changing at all since about 1940 when the gold played out. A big fire destroyed a significant portion of the town in 1923. The town is full of all kinds of historic relics, old cars, beautiful architecture of old buildings. But there just isn't much happening here anymore. That might change in the near future because there is interest in reopening some of the old gold mines. Since the price of gold is so high, it might be economically feasible to revisit the old sites and recover some of the gold that the old timers left behind. About 70 miles north of Las Vegas is the Nevada test site, where between 1951 and 1994, 928 nuclear tests were conducted. I always wonder how much radiation I'm picking up every time I drive through here. We had a great stay at the La Quinta Inn, and the owners were so nice they gave us a primo parking spot. We want to thank you for coming along for the ride and hope that you'll subscribe and continue to follow our trip to Ruidoso, New Mexico.